Ah, the Fantastic Four. Little do they know, they are but pawns in the hands of Doctor Doom. Night falls on New York City as the Fantastic Four are keeping themselves busy at their headquarters. Johnny Storm is reading an interesting comic that reminds him of The Thing, which causes an argument and the smashing of furniture. While Sue and Reed are able to separate and pacify the tussling Ben and Johnny, the lights suddenly go out. Up in the sky above them, Dr. Doom envelops the entire Baxter building in a net, triumphantly trapping the Fantastic Four. The netting appears to be made of some kind of asbestos, as Johnny is unable to burn through it. From his helicopter, Dr. Doom gloats at the success of his assault, and Reed Richards recognizes the man's voice. Years ago, Reed's roommate, Victor Von Doom, was fascinated with sorcery and the dark arts. Though Reed tried to stop his friend, Victor became obsessed with dangerous experiments as a result. One night, Doom went too far and caused an explosion in his college dormitory. Victor survived, but was badly disfigured and expelled from school. So Doom left college, rumored to have gone prowling Tibet for more secret magical knowledge. In the present, Doom demands Susan Storm as hostage, and when Ben tries to climb the net in response, the team discovers it is electrified in addition to being fireproof. With no other choice, Susan agrees to Doom's demand that she climb up the net alone. With Sue now in his direct custody, Doom orders the rest of the team onto his plane, demanding they promise not to attack him. Though Johnny is worried this is a trap and they could all die, Reed and Ben agree they really have no choice in the matter and comply. They are all brought up on board and Doom rushes the team to his home, a magnificent castle. Dr. Doom reveals to the team he has made an incredible device that allows a user to travel in time. He demands that Johnny, Reed, and Ben use the technology to travel back in time and steal the legendary pirate Blackbeard's gold. Reluctantly, the team agrees to this, and with the mere press of a button, the three superheroes find themselves in the Caribbean hundreds of years in the past, with only 48 hours to find the fabled treasure. They quickly obtain disguises, but attract the attention of some pirates in doing so. The pirates have the heroes overserved with grog that puts the three to sleep, and they wake up at sea as prisoners on board a pirate ship. The three quickly overpower the pirates with their collective superpowers when the ship suddenly comes across another pirate ship, loaded with treasure the heroes become convinced belongs to Blackbeard. The bewildered pirate crew quickly agrees to follow the Thing in battle and take the vessel for themselves. Johnny Storm ignites, flies over, and is able to do quite a bit of damage to the other vessel, while Reed Richards uses his stretchy body to build a bridge for Ben and the rest of the crew to attack on foot. A brawl ensues, but it only lasts for minutes before Ben and the pirates are victorious. The pirates cheer for the Thing, who they nickname Blackbeard, and Reed Richards realizes that Benjamin Grimm is actually the legendary historical figure. Reed has the treasure given out equally among the pirate crew, assuming it has special properties Doom will use for some nefarious purpose, and replaces it with some worthless metal chains. Before they leave, Ben decides to stay in the past, living the rest of his life out as Blackbeard, and he goes so far as to capture his friends to ensure that happens. He tries to cast them off in a lifeboat when suddenly a tornado appears, destroying the boat and casting the superheroes out into the sea. Reed and Johnny barely survive this, washing up on a nearby shore where they find Ben, who is ashamed of his recent actions. They find the decoy treasure chest just as Doom activates his time machine in the present day, and the Fantastic Four re-emerge in Doom's castle. There, Doom confirms Reed's suspicions by revealing the treasure originally belonged to the fabled wizard Merlin, and that it possesses the power to bestow invincibility on a knowing user. Privately, Reed and Johnny realize the treasure was lost at sea and could very well have wound up in the hands of their enemy, Namor. Doom opens up the chest and discovers the team's deception, so Ben Grimm attacks, clobbering Doom, who shatters, revealing himself to be a robotic decoy. The real Dr. Doom speaks to them from a hidden room, and declares he will simply cut off the superheroes from any oxygen. As he bids them farewell, he seals the room from any outside air. Watching this, Sue Storm turns invisible and manages to slip away from Doom's clutches. She finds the others, frees them, and the team is reunited once more. They escape Doom's castle, and when Victor sees this, he activates a jetpack, allowing him to fly out and confront his foes. In the air, he manages to outmaneuver Johnny, tiring the young man out and nearly causing him to pass out in the sky. Victor flees the scene, but with no further leads, the Fantastic Four can only return home, vowing to focus on tracking the villainous man down. In the weeks that follow, Johnny Storm begins to relentlessly scout around the Baxter building for Dr. Doom. A crowd watches on, amazed at the sight, while the Invisible Woman enters their headquarters, wondering if Johnny has seen anything of Doom. Inside their sprawling base of operations, Johnny tells her that he hasn't seen any sign of Victor, which worries Sue. As long as Victor is at large, none of them are safe. Reed, looking over some fan mail, learns of a child in a nearby hospital, so he sticks his head out for a moment to surprise the boy with an in-person visit. Meanwhile, the Thing gets a laugh thanks to a letter from a member of the Yancey Street gang, poking fun at the lumbering superhero. Still, with both Namor and Doom at large, the Fantastic Four can't quite enjoy this fun moment together. At sea, Doom's plane approaches Namor, the submariner. Victor quickly gets his attention, and Namor agrees to a parley. Under the sea, Namor takes Doom to his home, where Victor suggests they team up and defeat their shared enemy, the Fantastic Four. He reveals he knows Namor's origins and that the submariner seeks revenge against the Surfer's World for destroying his aquatic kingdom. Namor informs Doom that he will not harm Susan Storm, but agrees to help him defeat the others. Victor accepts this condition and shows off some of his new magnetic technology that he believes will guarantee the two new allies victory over the Fantastic Four. Soon after, Namor flies in to New York City. Though Johnny and Ben are hostile to his presence, Namor claims he is on a mission of peace. The Human Torch tries to attack Namor but fails to do any significant damage before tiring his own flame out. The team relents and agrees to instead listen to Namor, and the submariner explains that he is lonely and wants to seek friendship with the Fantastic Four. Suspicious of this, the team begins to scour the area for any possible traps, when suddenly, the entire Baxter building begins lifting up into the sky. Namor reveals it was indeed a trap, and one courtesy of Dr. Doom. But high up in the sky, the submariner realizes that Doom has double-crossed him, and plans to launch the building all the way up into space with them trapped within. It is only then that Doom decides to reach out to the team via radio. He reveals he has sent the Baxter building on a course that will put it straight into the sun, and spitefully bids them farewell. Enraged, Namor dunks himself in a tank of water stored in the building to empower himself. With this additional strength, Namor is able to easily make an incredible leap into space, landing on Doom's ship and forcing his way into the vessel. Inside, Namor manages to electrocute Doom and force the villain to flee into space. Using Doom's spaceship, Namor guides the Baxter building back to its rightful spot in the city, leaving the Fantastic Four with mixed feelings on the submariner. Out in the ocean, Namor destroys what he believes to be the last of Dr. Doom's inventions, and feels optimistic he will never be plagued by this villain again. Months later, Reed Richards was conducting research with Susan when the team was called into action. After some superpowered related shenanigans, the team all managed to join the Thing, who called them to the home of his partner Alicia. There, they showed off some figurines she had made of some of the villains the team had defeated since they had started operating. The miniatures were impressively realistic, but it causes a bit of an argument with Sue regarding whether or not Namor should still be viewed as a villain after his recent behavior. Meanwhile, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were unable to finish the rest of this story, as they were attacked by Dr. Doom. Victor begins his revenge by forcing the comic book creators to call on Reed Richards, so that they might discuss a new idea for a story. When Reed arrives to the Marvel offices, Doom douses him with gas, knocks the man out, and disappears with his enemy using magic. Richards wakes up a captive of his old college roommate, and Victor tells Reed how he survived being stranded in space. Doom was discovered by a group of aliens from another galaxy. These beings were advanced far beyond human science, but naive and trusting, so Doom was able to manipulate the aliens and learn a great deal of their secrets. Now more powerful than ever, Dr. Doom has returned for revenge. Before a shocked Reed Richards, Doom, despairing at the feeling of being trapped in his scarred and damaged body, switches bodies with his nemesis. Now in Reed Richards' body, Doom is able to easily overpower Reed using Reed's former superpowers, quickly adapting to his new form. Just then, the rest of the Fantastic Four arrive. They attack Reed, mistaking him for Dr. Doom, and Victor is all too happy to encourage this. Though Reed tries to plead the truth to his comrades, they quickly overpower him, and Victor imprisons Reed in a container he had specifically built for just this occasion. The Fantastic Four leave, and Victor discreetly reveals to Reed that his enemy will only have an hour left of air before he will inevitably suffocate. A gleefully victorious Doom walks away, ready to enjoy his new life and body. Not long after this, the team is delighted to find a number of miniaturized animals have escaped out of Reed's lab. Doom arrives, brushing off concerns that these animals were stolen from the local zoo, and instead redirects the team towards his new invention, a reducing ray that shrunk all these animals down to their present size. Doom believes this shrinking ray could be used to enhance each of the Fantastic Four's powers, even potentially allowing the Thing to shift from human to rock form at will. The team quickly gets excited at this prospect, and Reed promises within a few hours he'll have everything ready to give the reducing ray a try. Privately, Doom delights at his real plan, which is to shrink the Fantastic Four down so much they disappear into nothingness entirely. Meanwhile, Reed manages to break free of his prison and wanders into Alicia's apartment. Though Alicia senses something warm and noble hiding behind Doom's terrifying exterior, Susan happens to stop by and manages to knock Doom out and call the team. Ben arrives in no time at all and quickly accosts Reed, angry at this intrusion. The team bring Reed to the Baxter building, and Doom quickly tries to enact his plan before the deception is revealed. Reed tries to speak out, only for Doom to knock the man to the ground. Ben and Johnny each voice their growing suspicions that Richards isn't acting like himself. So to investigate this, they grab a stick of dynamite from a nearby construction site and plan to throw it in front of the two men. In response to this, Reed, in Doom's body, dives in front of it to protect the others, while Doom, in Reed's body, tries to flee the scene, revealing the body switching. This catches Doom off guard, making him lose mental control long enough for the two men to switch back to their original forms. Surrounded, a now desperate Doom attacks the Fantastic Four, but accidentally hits himself with his own shrink ray. As he pleads for help, Richards can only watch in dismay as Victor shrinks down into seemingly nothing within a few seconds. The team take a moment to reflect on the ironic end of Dr. Doom, and Ben for the first time admits that Reed Richards might be this new superhero team's true leader. While the others wonder if this is truly the end of Dr. Doom.